I want to talk about this new batch of Twitter files.
The Twitter files.
Twitter files, the so-called Twitter files.
The Twitter files.
Twitter files.
Elon Musk's Twitter files. Here's what they reveal. Freshly leaked screenshots have shown us that Twitter's past leaders are having trouble with a tough moderation call with political affiliations. Musk is now on the hook for those decisions himself. Moderating social platforms is no easy feat. Just ask the ex-Twitter employees whose decision to block a 2020 New York Post story about Joe Biden's son Hunter was picked apart in tweets from Substack writer Matt Taibbi. Yes, that happened. Ye has also been banned from the platform once more. Keep watching and find out all the juicy details. Why did Twitter do this? It's up to Musk now to make some tough calls and stand his ground on them on what can be included on Twitter. The tweet thread, which exposed said screenshots, named the Twitter files, shows company executives racing to make a thorny moderation call in a no-win circumstance. With a presidential election nearby, the New York Post reported that Hunter Biden had a laptop which contained evidence that he had inappropriately tried to broker a meeting between a business client and his dad when Joe Biden was vice president of the U.S. What makes the whole thing scandalous is the fact that the decision to limit and then outright ban it was solely on Twitter. There was no external pressure from either the FBI, the Biden campaign, or Democratic politicians behind it. In fact, the only influence was from a sitting politician that Taibbi said was from Silicon Valley, Rep. Ro Khanna, who actually told Twitter executives they ought to distribute the story, regardless of the potential outcome for his party. Now, what are we supposed to make of that? Emails and messages in said screenshots posted by Taibbi display what one executive labeled a whirlwind, as some of Twitter's policy and trust and safety staffers began to question an initial decision which blocked sharing of the story for going against the platform's policy on distribution of hacked materials. But for now, the provenance of the laptop and whether the thing on it really belonged to Hunter Biden remains vague. In the screenshots, we saw one staffer warning that they'll have to face some tough questions on this if they didn't have some sort of solid reasoning. A company lawyer stated it was pretty reasonable for Twitter to conclude that the material gained by the newspaper was stolen. In some others, we saw Twitter executives fielding advice from tech industry lobbyists and a Democratic member of Congress. But what did we all learn about Twitter's handling of everything? Actually, not too much. After all, Twitter went back on its decision just 2 days later, and then CEO Jack Dorsey said the moderation decision was not right. Instead, the thread just ended up giving us fresh fodder for conspiracy theories that have circulated around the laptop saga, including the insinuation, which wasn't backed by evidence, that government officials really had intervened and tried to suppress the Post story. But the most relevant and highlighted lesson from Taibbi's thread may apply to Musk himself, who has chosen to make big moderation decisions at Twitter almost unilaterally. But contrary to the intense and hyped-up billing, the files aren't much and they just show what's already been documented. The Twitter took down links to the Post story and files from Hunter Biden's laptop and didn't know how to react to the revelation of the leak of files from a presidential candidate's son, and Jack Dorsey says they made a mistake in how they handled it. Twitter at first suppressed the story from showing up in its recommendation algorithms, but then banned links to the story completely with the excuse of their distribution of hacked materials policy. Dorsey explained during the 2021 hearing that their choice wasn't about the content at all. It was solely the fault of the hacked materials policy. They had the incorrect interpretation, and they don't write policy under any particular political leaning. He also said that if they find any of it, they'll write it out. Yoel Roth, Twitter's ex-head of trust and safety who resigned recently, echoed Dorsey and called Twitter's handling of the Post story a mistake in an interview. They said that they didn't know what to believe and there was a lot of false news and rumors. It apparently looked like just a hack, kind of similar to the one of the Russian intelligence did during the 2016 presidential election. Are the files really a big deal? Taibbi and Musk's Twitter files seem to add very little content, which went past what former executives have said was a confused and bungled response. News outlets have referred to them as a giant nothing burger, and sometimes that makes Watergate look like jaywalking. Twitter blocked the distribution of the Post story even in posts and direct messages, which Taibbi claims should be something reserved only for really bad things, such as child porn. The tool has also been used to block other inputs of banned context, including the URL for distributed denial of secrets, which gives journalists access to hacked documents, as well as the newsroom for American and European-based citizens, a front organization for the Russian Internet Research Agency, which intervened in the 2020 election. In the past 2 weeks, Musk has done some pretty controversial things with his newfound power as the owner of Twitter, one of which was that he reinstated the Twitter of former U.S. President Donald Trump, based on the results of a Twitter poll, and even unblocked a series of other users previously banned from the site for going against content rules. Similar to the Twitter staffers who deliberated on the New York Post story in 2020, Musk was once again put in a tough spot and appeared to feel under pressure to come to a decision. And as with those past arbiters of Twitter policy, the behind-the-scenes action was definitely more than a little messy. Musk's moderation assignments are only going to get more complicated from here. The longer he owns the site, the more likely he is to come up against a challenge with political entanglements. And research has shown that hate speech has already become more highlighted on Musk-run Twitter. Twitter, for now, hasn't responded to a request for comment about its incitement to violence bans and how rules against violators will be enforced. The company has disbanded its communications team. Elon Musk said he exited Twitter's deputy general counsel over concerns the high-ranking executive tried to suppress information about the social media platform's handling of the Hunter Biden laptop controversy. Musk revealed in a tweet that he pushed out James Baker, the FBI's best lawyer, before joining the social media giant in 2020, over his potential role in the suppression of information which was crucial to the public dialogue. This whole thing capped off another week of complete anarchy and chaos at Musk's Twitter, after the chief twit spent an afternoon meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron and battling back reports about the increase of hate speech on the platform, as if he hadn't already gotten himself plenty of attention for the whole Ye fiasco. Here's what we know about his beef with Ye. Musk was not only a fan of the return of Donald Trump, but also of Ye, the rapper who used to be known as Kanye West, whose account was restricted in October of 2022 after posting an anti-Semitic tweet. Restricted accounts are those that can still appear on the platform, but its users can't post or interact with them in any way. But that didn't last. A short while later, Musk announced that Ye would be suspended all over again after the rapper tweeted a picture of a swastika inside the Star of David. It was a breach of Twitter's rule about incitement to violence. We personally can't make any sense of it ourselves. It's no secret that Ye is often in the headlines, and mostly for non-music related reasons too. And we can't think of any reason he'd do this. A text message leaked by Ye seemed to show Musk messaging the rapper directly first and showed that he's willing to extend personal service to some people who violate his moderation policies, even if they are going around flaunting their anti-Semitic views. Musk told Ye that he had taken this privilege too far and this wasn't going to fly, according to screenshots the rapper shared before his Twitter account was once again suspended. Ye texted back asking Musk who made him the judge. Well, he is the owner of the platform. During the Twitter Spaces, Musk said that he was angry and he really just wanted to punch Kanye himself.
It's an incitement to violence. I personally wanted to punch Kanye, so that was definitely inciting me to violence.
He began explaining how Ye's swastika post was a way of inciting violence. He then made the decision to suspend him once and for all. Another Ye moment which will probably never make sense to anyone except the man himself. Okay, but why is Musk doing this? He said he wants Twitter to be some sort of free speech utopia, something which has been heavily criticized by just about everyone who's heard it. Musk's promotion of the internal screenshots, which also includes employees' names, is largely unprecedented and comes at a time where he has said many times that he wants the platform to have complete transparency, and he's going to make that happen. Tybee said that he had to consent to certain conditions in exchange for the chance to cover the files in a message to his Substack subscribers, asking them to be patient and also recognizing that his customers may be furious that the information appears on the social network first. Musk's free speech agenda has been the basis of his tumultuous takeover of Twitter, as he has argued since the initial days of the deal that the platform works as a de facto town square, where people can say whatever they want, and the only boundary is the law. He has accepted that Twitter does indeed have a strong left-wing bias. And in recent days, he has granted amnesty to many accounts that were previously suspended, which includes the far-right influencers and people linked with the QAnon extremist ideology. Though Musk has said he feels the same way on some things as the Democratic Party and some Republican policies, he increasingly seems to be courting the GOP. In the run-up to the midterm elections, he actually promoted Republican voting to his millions of followers, and he recently said he was inclined toward backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis if he decided to carry out his possible 2024 presidential bid. His actions and words seem pretty self-contradictory. The conservatives are not happy. Facebook actually behaved in a similar way regarding the story. They also kept it from spreading too much and also sent it to outside fact-checkers. The way Twitter did it, though, was a whole other thing. They began posting warnings that it may be unsafe and locked accounts that shared it, including that of Kayleigh McEnany, the newspaper and then White House spokeswoman. The moves garnered widespread criticism from conservatives, who used the controversy as fuel in their claims that tech companies censor their viewpoints. Let's also keep in mind that most of the screenshots couldn't be verified by a third party, the Post. Twitter was sent an angry email from a Donald Trump campaign staffer saying that the company had to give an answer on when and how the lock on McEnany's account would be lifted. The Trump campaign email was escalated internally, and an employee revealed that the account was bounced for going against the hacked materials policy. Mike Hahn, the former Trump staffer whose signature was on the email, praised Musk's efforts for bringing transparency to Twitter with the document release. And that's all for now. Do you think Elon will be able to turn Twitter into his ideal free speech haven? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.